What do you guys want to talk about first?
Sex. Sex. Let's talk about sex, baby.
I feel like you've been
Talk
more
about
than
that
satisfied
shiesty
lately.
Huh?
So I feel like you've been more than satisfied lately. I'm happy
Oh
for
no,
you.
I have not. Not lately. Not this month. Again,
This month, it's already 15th. I'm not kidding. Like, this month has flew for me so quickly. It's actually scary. I'm
gonna
turning
stop
30
you right
February
there.
1st.
PND
Podcast.
There you go. I like that.
With?
Who are we starting off with?
You.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
The shiesty motherfucker? No, it's with Vic. That's who they came to see.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
You never start with me. I'm not even included in this
That's
intro.
how we're starting this today, right there. You see it? Okay. And then, of course, Poe.
Thanks. And G.
You know it. Okay.
Welcome back.
Yeah. Yeah. Why do I have a shiesty on, you ask? I don't know.
Who
It
asked?
just works. I'm pretty right. Nobody asks. It's just like,
Don't mess up your beautiful haircut.
did I mess it up? Is
No,
it good?
it's nice,
Is it good?
yeah. It
Okay,
looks
good.
good.
Cool.
It almost
Thank
looked
you.
like a do-rag when you had it like half off.
Oh, nice. Oh,
I was
sure.
contemplating of like wearing one of those for like overnight because it helps
Yeah, of
with
course.
like friction of
Yeah.
your hair and curls, so it preserves it. But like I feel like I would sweat in that. I don't know how they walk around in those.
Really?
Yeah, it's just like I don't know. It just
I
the
wouldn't
material.
be able to do it. No. My hair's too thick, though. I hate hats in general.
Me
Well,
Like, I
too.
can just imagine something
hate
constricting
hats.
my head with
but
torture.
they're like, you think your hair is thick, bro. They have nappy hair.
Oh, I know. They're
you
super
have
thick.
nothing compared to theirs. Like,
Well, I'm just saying for me, with my hair, it bothers the heck out of me, just any type of pressure.
I don't
It's
have
just
thick
like-
hair and I hate hats.
Yeah.
I wear the earmuffs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
because
Yeah.
I hate like having anything. I
earmuffs,
sweat
too.
automatically.
Well, you have that nice big old hat.
I know.
So I don't know what
I
you're
don't
talking
really
about.
need them. Yeah. Well, like I guess
Liar.
no, I'm just saying like I don't like sweaty winter hats. Like I don't mind the fall ones,
Oh,
like the
beanies
cover.
and stuff
yeah,
like
the
that.
beanies. Yeah, I
I
can't do
love
it.
beanies.
Like something
Yeah.
that's tight on my
Yeah.
skin, it just makes me sweat and itch, and I just don't like it.
Yeah, the itch. The itch is horrible.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
beanies are cute though. I do like beanies on other people. But like I literally look like I have a condom on my head when I put it.
You're buying
It's
them
like
way too
weird,
small.
and then like I have puffy hair sticking out of it. It's just so weird.
Pubes and all that.
So bad.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Do we want to talk about the news or are we leaving it for the end?
All right, guys. This is the big news. Paulina's going to break it to you. Yeah.
So unfortunately,
She's terrible at this, but she giggles when it's sad news. But this is the last episode of PND. Yeah.
because
Anyways,
I was just gonna say because Darley's is in love and he doesn't have time for me and Vic.
Oh.
So,
yeah, that too. Yeah, so mental health. Yeah.
but yeah, moving forward, we're just joking. We're obviously gonna be back and better, and we're still willing to put an effort and time to grow, and we're thankful for all of you guys to be with us and listen to us weekly.
Now you made it like really.
But hold on.
We're gonna be back. No, basically the building's sold. We're just gonna be moving. That's all.
That's all.
it.
So
And
it might
we
look
were
a little
I was
different.
just gonna try to say that we're gonna be like a travel podcast now.
Yeah,
we're
that's
gonna switch
right.
up locations.
Bermuda.
Imagine.
let's go.
One
Hey,
day,
let us know
day.
if we should go on tour. Would you want to see this live?
Yeah,
we'll
exactly.
do it.
There
If
it
enough
is.
of you say yes, we'll book a
Everybody
venue.
That would be fun.
It'd just be Fernando just paying for the whole venue. Thanks, Fernando.
Love you, buddy.
Yeah.
We'll start out at a cafe if we get 20 of you.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
I'm
that
sure we
would
could
be
get a
fun.
cafe.
I
to
don't
rent out.
need all of you. I just need one millionaire that loves us. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. And his name isn't Diddy. Yeah. So let's
Yeah,
hope
let's-
that.
That would be a good
That'd be a good
couple.
one. But we're exciting. I mean, I feel like every step backward is a 2-step forward.
I really do feel like
Yeah.
that, especially with this. Like I was telling Vic, like when we heard the news.
At first, it probably crushed you. I
No,
feel like.
not at all.
Not at all.
You
No,
didn't? Oh, that's good.
We felt like I think our partner outside of this, he felt it more, and some other people felt it more. Like my parents were just like, "Where are you going to do the podcast?" I was just like,
yeah.
"Anywhere." It's like I don't care. It's like
Well, I feel like
yeah.
your confidence, because that was my original like worry of like, oh shit, like they have a whole setup. Like I understand that, you know, we can move the setup somewhere else, but I'm like, oh my God, what are we gonna do now? But like you guys are so confident and you do this for a living, so it's like, all right, whatever, I guess you got it. So then that's great.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, because honestly, what a podcast is, and I had enough people ask me like about podcasting and stuff like that now just because of hours. And it's just, you have to just do it, and you have to just, it's about the content or just about the
conversation.
Yeah, and just like the connection that you have with the people inside here, and then the people outside of here, which is you guys watching. Obviously, it's the love of it. Like build a community, like. And then I've seen Joe Rogan's, like, it isn't, obviously it's famous, and it's, but it isn't the best looking podcast I've ever seen in my life. But people watch it. Why? Because it like they're
the content.
And they're plugged into Joe Rogan and everything else. And it's just like, that's how you really build it. It's not about like the production. It's about the emotion that you can invoke with things. And that's content overall. Just like, if you don't have something that's connecting to people, then you don't really have anything. You're just like putting stuff out there.
Time out
there. I mean, like I wouldn't say wasting. If you're experimenting, that's a different thing than just like shooting completely blanks and then not trying to like analyze what you're getting back from it all. Which, you know, again, that's why I would never question somebody if they're just trying something new. It's like, go ahead. There's nothing wrong to try. You know, it's worse that you don't try something. Like you're just there thinking about, oh, I want to do this or I want to do that. And
you know what it is? People just compare to one another, and it's just like, yeah, our podcast looks amazing. And then I've gotten a couple of questions like, how did you start? Even Kimmy, who was our guest last time, like, she was like, I feel like I want to start a podcast. I just don't know how. I was like, come and see how it's done, and like you will, you know, you eventually will get there. But people get discouraged because if you know, our podcast looks so amazing, and then they want to start a podcast, but they're just going to do it out of their bedroom, not really knowing what they're doing. It's almost like it's such a turn off that people don't want to even do it.
Maybe we should do an episode like that, just all in the bed.
There's like a 3-way call on like freaking Zoom or something. Like just a 3-way call on our phones. Just all like,
I was going to say all of us in just one bed.
No, like one king-size bed, like
one king-size bed.
Rent a room, like that would be funny as hell. Like I would have like a towel on my head.
I saw the Dropouts podcast. Dude, like they had 5 people in one bed, and then like the cameras were just like, and they were all just talking, and just like, again, and I watched the whole episode. It was hilarious.
Sick. You got to send it to me.
Yeah, I will. But like that's what I mean. It's just like, it's not like you can do this with a phone. Like it doesn't have to be like the phone gets great quality.
Yeah.
Like lighting is like, yeah, you have to invest into it, but for the most part, it's just like making sure that you put stuff that you feel your heart, even more so, feel your heart in it.
I agree with that, even on like the social media level, where, you know, people in my industry, like the beauty influencing industry, like they're focusing so much on like, oh my God, I better have the best quality like ring light and this and that. And I'm like, no, people just want to see what you have. Like, what is it? What are you about, for one, and then what you're giving to them, right? Yeah. So, like, even if you go and talk on your stories about something that you want to address, like, that's good enough versus, like, putting crazy amount of reels. Like, I used to do that. You guys know that. Like, it was so exhausting. I, like, hated it. To the point that, like, it turned me off, and I don't even want to do reels anymore. Yeah. I would rather just go out there and show my face, talk about it, and that's that. And just be myself instead of just trying to be perfect. I feel like a lot of us, you know, procrastinate of like if it comes to our dreams because we want to do everything so perfect, and it doesn't have to be that way. It can just be step by step, very simple. Yeah, you mold actions.
Things. Like again, how we started this podcast, I can't believe it. It's almost a year.
I was just gonna say it's almost
a year now. And it's crazy because all of it, like, you know, I started with the Red Flag series. Yeah. And that's how you commented, and then after that it was just like, oh shit, like let's and then let's mold. Like it was just good chemistry, and it was like, let's just mold it together. Let's just build this thing together, just because it was like good vibes, and we had the same kind of ideas, and just like
and we're just very open minded too, and very outspoken to say the least. We have no filter, so it works out.
I feel like we do compared to some other people. I've seen some shit. I'm like, yo. Like, what we say is it's tame to, like, you
but
know.
I feel like I've gotten responses, especially from other women, when they were like, "Oh my God, I would have never said that publicly, but thank you for you doing it because like I'm with you on that one." I was just like,
so
"Okay,
funny.
I'll be the voice for the girls."
I definitely have heard that
Yeah.
for you. It's just like people definitely just like, "Oh my God, Paulina, she just goes out there. She's so brave. I don't think I could do it." And I'm just like, "You could. You just do it."
I
Like,
will say, kind of like in terms of like relationship, me being so outspoken and me just like saying how it is makes it very much harder to be in a relationship because, you know, like when you are in one, you kind of have to like control your mouth. And I have a hard time doing so. I will still be respectful even when I'm in a relationship, but like I will still say what I think, whether you like it or not. And I feel like a lot of people respect me for it, but then it also bites me in my ass several times. So finding that balance has been not an issue, but just like definitely thinking before I say something now because I'm in a relationship. So it's like,
and you're putting it on social media and stuff like that. And
so it can't just be me, right? Now it's like I'm a unity with somebody else. So I have to watch what I say.
I feel that too, where it's just like I've thought about it, but at the same time, like maybe it's different since I'm a man and everything like that. But even for my girlfriend, like obviously I don't want to put her face on my social that much anyways.
Same.
So people don't see us and kind of like somebody described it where it's like keep your relationship private but don't keep it a secret.
I agree with that.
So it's just in that sense of just like I don't mind divulging relationship conversations and then talking about it like I'm Jada Smith, like you know, like it's fine. But at the same time, it's just like there's certain things I agree keep private. You don't have to divulge like about a fight that you just had with somebody because then that's the problem where I feel like you're taking too much stuff and then like
you're allowing people to have ins in your relationship.
You know what was crazy is like I was working here and then last night or the other night and then I ended up going to 7-Eleven just grab something, right? And in this I talked to one of the clerks and stuff like that, and it was crazy to me because we ended up conversating about like one of his cousins that ends up like she didn't call her husband she called him her boyfriend. I don't know if it was a mistake or whatever. It could have been just that. But yeah, pretty much that impression. But you know, like one of the things that I've realized is don't discuss problems within your relationship to your family to immediately, especially if it's something small, like just because it's just going to give a bad, like I told him like this and I was just like, and that's why I discussed it with Victor rather than like I'd rather discuss it with my mom, because if I discuss that kind of things with my mom, she's gonna think very badly of this girl that's with me.
She's gonna be biased.
Then I'm gonna end up just like, oh, it's over. It's like you know the argument is over. I'm still with her, and then next problem I still go talk to her badly.
I've done that multiple times in the past. It did not work out well for me.
Exactly. So it's just like, keep your mouth closed, keep your private, like, you know, certain privacy, like of that level, and then just discuss it with your person. And then you just got to be patient with them. And God willing, like I'm learning patience on a double stand, like strong, just like, oh shit, like I did not think,
especially like for someone who has been single for so long, like I feel like it's very hard to put up with people's shit that you're not used to. I agree. If it comes to social media, I used to post my boyfriend, ex-boyfriend, on social media, and it did allow a lot of people into our relationship to the point that like we were like this popular couple, and like I'm thinking, oh, it's cool, nothing is wrong with it, but then like you literally want people to like. No, I mean, the people want your relationship to fail so much, so they'll do anything in your power to actually ruin it. So now, like when I just recently got into a relationship, before even like making things official, I've made it very clear that yes, I am active on social media for several reasons, but I am not going to be showcasting you as much as I used to. And at first he was like, well, that sounds like you're like trying to hide me. And I was just like, no, that's not what it means. Like everyone's going to know that I have a man, and I'm going to make it very known. Like I'm at dinner, I'm going to tag you, and he has a private account, thankfully.
Mm-hmm.
Or, you know, I'll show us holding hands on social media. So it's very known. Like, everybody's going to know that you're my man, but I'm not showing your face. I'm not going to go out there and post every minute of my day with you, because I just want to protect that one thing that's private.
As you should.
Because as we all know, like, even when you are out there influencing, you have to show yourself, not just your product, because no one's just going to buy the product. You have to show them who you are in order for people to, like, actually connect and trust you and see that you're a real person, not just a robot that gets paid for promoting a product.
Absolutely.
So that was like a very tough conversation at the beginning, where I was like, no, like, these are the things I'm going to do differently now, because I've learned from the past mistakes. And I do agree with you, like, the privacy is so huge if it comes to relationship, family, and the issues, like, you know, I do vent out, especially to my best friend, because she has been through it all with me. And like, when I do vent out about small, like, issues, I generally ask her not to be biased and, like, not to take this, you know, and use it against someone who I'm dating. It's just more so, like, for me to get a second opinion on the situation. And we're both, like, really good at it. So no one's really, like, against their partners. I have a hair on my lip and it's driving me crazy. Ooh, I got it.
Nice.
First try. But yeah, I agree with that. How's it going otherwise?
You know, it's a learning experience overall, which is nice to be past the honeymoon phase of just like, oh yeah, it's sex every day. No, now it's like balancing everything else out.
Like, back to reality.
Yeah, it's just like, okay, you have your life, I have my life, but we come together when we can. And it's just like, you know, when she has a situation, obviously, like, you know, try to be understanding about it, and try to learn them in the best way. I know she told me it's like she wants me to learn her more, but it's that to me is like, I need time for that. I can't just, you know, I can't learn you if we don't spend time.
In a 3-month period, it's very hard.
Well, I mean, I can't learn you in a lifetime.
You're never going to fully know somebody.
Yeah, Vic was telling me, it's just like him and his wife were finding out new things about each other, you know, just the other day. And it's just like, that's how it should be, because that keeps it fun and surprising.
And it's growth too.
Yeah.
You're growing, you're changing, you're supposed to be changing.
Yeah.
I like that.
Absolutely. So that's why I'm just like, when people discuss things of just like, oh, what do you think about this and that? And it's just like, I'm just giving it time. I'm just letting it grow. You know, like, you can't just think it's gonna, a tree's gonna blossom just because you watered it one time. It's like, nah, you just gotta focus on what you gotta focus on.
No.
And and like I was telling you, it's just like, when people get insecurities, it's like you just feed them with the good. And then that way, like, those insecurities become secure, because you know what? Like, I'm here for you. And like,
I agree with that to a certain extent, though.
In what way?
So, like, it's funny because I can relate to this. I had a conversation about, like, the insecurities, and like, most of the insecurities, usually, if it comes to me, they come from my past.
Okay.
So, and I appreciate that, like, whoever I'm with is there for me to help me, like, you know, grow through these. Heal and grow through these traumas that I've been through, but that's not their responsibility to heal me fully. And I just feel like, how do I say it? Be there for that person, but also if they continue showing the same insecurity over and over, even though you're there for them constantly, and that affects you now, then, like, I can't emphasize
that's what we discussed about yesterday. When do you know that it's a red flag? And that's sort of the conversation that we had. Once you had the situation happen, and then it occurs again, and no change is made, and it occurs again and again and again and again, now it's a red flag. Now you know.
That's like you know they're not changing.
Yeah.
Well,
and
the only caveat I would add to that is that, so there's this book called Crucial Conversations, which pretty much just talks about addressing things.
Oh, nice.
And how to address things with people in, like, a work environment or in a relationship or whatever. And, you know, first there's, like, the coincidence, the circumstance where it happens once. And you're like, oh, okay. Then it moves into a pattern if it keeps happening, like what you're discussing. And the thing is, like, maybe the first time you talk, you mention is like, hey, okay, what was that? You know, this and that. And then you learn. But once you see the pattern, then you address the pattern. It's like, hey, I noticed this consistent thing happening. every time is this. Let's talk deeper. This is how it's affecting me. You know, it's like, what can we do to change this? Because this can't be a thing that continues. Then I think the problem really doesn't come like when it's a pattern, but it's like after you addressed it, you have 1 or 2 or 3 conversations about it at this point, and you see almost zero change, or at least acknowledgement that the change is coming hard. Like if the person isn't like, maybe they'll have that reaction again, but they're like, I'm sorry, I'm trying to be good. It still affects me pretty strongly, but I get it. Like, you know, like if they're not showing that effort, if they're not showing that they're at least trying to like, I acknowledge that this is something I have to get used to or something I have to work on, then it's like you can work with that. But if they don't change at all and it's just sorry every time,
then
it's
not
like
enough at this point.
At that point it's like a red flag for sure.
But I've been in situations because I'm like, I think it's my best and worst quality is that I'm very forgiving. I don't forget, but I will forgive. And like, I want to work with you every time because I understand that people are different. And I'm a very giving person. And I am a natural, like, not servant. I guess that's the word. Like, I like to just give and serve people, especially if you mean the world to me. But like, when you know, a mistake can be only made once, right? So let's say like you do something that I tell you, hey, like, I don't like this. This is how it makes me feel. Like, what can we do how do you view it? I always ask. And then they tell me. And then I'm like, well, listen, like, I just don't think this is something I've ever want to see again. But and I understand that this is not going to be an overnight fix. So we need to work together, right? So then they're like, okay. They'll try to, you know, change things up for a couple times, let's say a month long, then shit hits the fan again. And now I'm just like, okay, now that's a pattern. You didn't make a mistake. Now it's like like an ongoing thing that it's going to be happening. So I have another conversation, and then it's like, yeah, something's gonna change. Month goes by, everything's great. Again, things happen. So I feel like for me personally, and to answer your question, like the red flag, I think it's how much you can handle, and how much are you willing to handle.
Also, I would say with that, if it's one occurrence after like a month of being good, I think it's natural. People are gonna mess up, especially if it was habitual before that.
Yeah.
Like the second they get relaxed because it's been good is usually when the slip up comes.
Well, I guess it depends on the severity of the
action,
problem,
of course, too. Yeah, like if it's like them having a violent outburst, then that's not good. Of course,
like if it's something disrespectful, when I feel disrespected, I will not come from like empathetic side, and I probably should work on it because again, people are different, and my disrespect.
You and every woman in the world.
No, it's just like several things. Like obvious is obvious. Let's just put it that way. Like, you know, if you are making me feel what?
Thank you.
I'm sorry. Obvious is never obvious. Obvious is only obvious to the person that it's coming from.
No, so let's put it. Okay, let's put it into perspective. Hold on, let's put it in perspective. I'm just saying like.
Hit the boom, 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 boom.
Whatever. I'm just saying, like, something super, like, I would have to come up with, like, an
actual example.
Without me bringing up the, like, actual situation.
Yeah.
You're getting disrespected.
What's disrespecting?
In the pub, like, place where your man is, or your woman is screaming at you, cursing at you in a public place. Like, that's kind of like obvious you're not supposed to do it unless I'm threatening your life and you're fighting for your life.
Yeah, that's a good extreme example.
Yeah, but like at the end of the day, I've seen couples like that, and it's normal to them for that to happen.
No, absolutely. I understand that.
And it's just like, I think it was described to me as everybody's childhood is their own, and they don't know what outside like a good childhood is, or like a bad childhood. Just they only have their own childhood to look back to, and just that's my childhood. Like, it's traumatic. I don't know. Just being left alone by a couple days. My mom, I thought that was normal. So I can understand like where you're coming from, where you're saying it's like, you know, there's certain things like you shouldn't do, and obviously like, you know, you set your boundaries.
Certain norms.
But, you know, like, I agree with Victor, too. It's just, like, obvious isn't obvious. It's
no,
just...
I meant more so, like, extreme situations where, like, we know what's, like socially acceptable in the public place and what's not. And, like, obviously there's not always going to be somebody who follows these things. But I was just giving, like, an example, like, a general example of, like, majority of people would know that you're not supposed to do this, yet you do it, you know? So, but what was I saying, though? with the, before I said obvious is obvious, because now I'm like, shit. Relationship.
Oh, you were talking about at what point is enough is enough?
Oh, that's right.
Okay.
So thank you.
You're
So yeah, in my opinion, it's just
listening,
like
Vic.
how much you can handle, right? And
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
I got it in. That's what he said. Okay.
I love
okay,
how
sorry.
you would laugh at your own jokes.
I love
It's
it
so
too. So I was
sharp.
like, and that's also what we'll go to what you're saying first. But yeah, that's also what's gotten me into trouble. But go ahead. Yeah.
I believe it.
No, I'm done. I'm done talking.
No,
I was
no,
just saying, like, you know, if I'm telling you that something makes me uncomfortable or I feel disrespected, and the word disrespect is a big word.
Yeah.
So like, if I'm telling you like, hey, I feel disrespected by your action, and you're actually willing to understand why I feel disrespected and apply actions, I'm okay with 1% improvement every single day. It doesn't have to go from 0 to 100. Oh, tomorrow I'm a new person. I'm this perfect person,
Well,
because
that's
you're just
usually manipulation at that point.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm okay with a slight improvement, but if we have a serious conversation when I'm telling you like I will never tolerate this, like this is a boundary, and you do it again, like that, then you're like kind of like signing yourself up for a failure, because these people are going to continue doing that.
Yeah. What you set your own limitations of toleration.
Yeah.
And as the expression goes, what you tolerate, you allowed.
Yeah.
So it's,
Which I'm
but
a
it's
victim of that.
it's definitely a
I'm
person to
guilty.
person thing, you know.
Yeah.
And that's sort of where I talked to Vic, because the situation I had with basically I was joking, and I can say this, I don't mind this, like divulging this part. It's just like I had a fight with my girlfriend about like, you know, and then we were sort of just done with the fight, or at least I thought like we were, you know, like past that, or like okay, we're, you know, past this, and now we're good. Like, so now I'm just gonna make a joke, because that's just me, how
Yeah,
I
you
deal
were
with
just
things.
sarcastic.
Yeah, like I just like, and especially when something's so tense, I just
Yeah.
like making jokes.
Yeah.
But I said the joke, and then she was just like, she felt she was unheard. She felt like I wasn't taking it serious enough, you know, which is completely understandable.
Yeah.
And it's something that I have to like I told her, I was like, I'm sorry that I made you feel that way.
Right.
And, you know, that is my fault. It's how I communicate. It's something that it's been instilled in me. I'm
Yeah.
going to do better to communicate the way that you like,
Yeah.
because you know what, I want to make sure that you feel heard, you feel this. But yeah, it's I apologize for that, and if it
That's
does
nice.
happen again, just let me know, and I'll make sure to reel it back and
Right.
not say anything. But just, you know, FYI, that's just how I deal with
Yeah.
things. It's not me trying to disrespect you or
Right.
make you feel that you are in
Does
such
she
a way.
not throw jokes like that at you sometimes?
No, it's a difference of like her jokes are really dark and cold. Like as far as like, you know, like like she said it's something like not in to me, like I like dark jokes.
Yeah, I know.
But her jokes are just like we're over. And I was like, what happened? And then she's busy sleeping or something. And then like 5 hours later, I'm just like, yo, so
I'll
like
lose it.
like I was just joking. I was just like,
Oh my God,
yeah,
I would lose it with my trauma.
yeah.
No way, bro.
I mean, again, I have patience. I'm just like, okay, I'll wait, you know, whatever it is, you know. I
That's
guess,
nice.
yeah, but it definitely isn't like, to me, that isn't like, you know.
That's a little toxic.
yeah.
I'm sorry to say it, but like
No,
in
it's
my
fine. It's
in
like-
my eyes, like that's a little toxic.
Yeah,
because it's like you can make a joke, but at the same time, it's like you're putting someone through unnecessary stress. Like obviously, like all of a sudden we're done.
Yeah. Well,
Like
that's,
I'm obviously
but
gonna
I
want
mean-
to.
yeah.
If you know her and you know that's how she jokes.
Well, I
so-
didn't.
Oh,
They didn't
that's
know
how it
that
was?
like she would
Okay.
ever go to that. But like the way I described it to her is just like, you know, when you're doing that type of joke, if you just say at least I'm joking at the end and then you go to sleep, that's cool. Then I get
Right.
less stress. I'm
Don't
fine.
give
That's
the 5
your-
hours though.
Yeah, like
That's
it's
your
just-
reassurance
yeah,
right
yeah,
there. Hey,
yeah,
I'm joking.
yeah.
So now you don't have to go
Yeah.
into crazy overthinking
Yeah,
situation. Yeah.
Yeah, like
Oh my
called
God,
her
I'd
like
lose
3
it.
times, like what's going, and she doesn't pick up, and I'm just like, oh fuck, like what did I do? It's just like,
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
What did I do? You're blaming yourself.
Yeah, but like again, it's just like learning somebody, and it's just like, okay, you know, making her understand how it made me feel, and making sure.
Has she made that joke ever again?
I mean, that was just recent, so that was,
Okay,
that
so
was,
it was
like,
just a one
it's
and
too
done.
early for me to tell. Just like if she's gonna joke like that again.
I just hate, like, I don't mind jokes and like sarcasm because I throw some sarcastic, jokes sometimes. But it's like if you can take my sarcasm and let's say I can take yours, then it's like messed up. Like to relate to your like joke about a serious conversation that you guys had, and like let's say she was hurt and then you made a joke out of it. I'm the same way. And, like, somebody else wouldn't be able to take it, but then they can do it to me, and I'm supposed to take it. You know what I mean? I've had these situations. I'm like, no. It has to be on the same. We have to be on the same page. If I'm joking about something that hurt you in the past, just to make, whatever, make us laugh, and you are getting butthurt, so then don't come at me when. Like, don't pretty much
don't flip it.
Yeah, don't flip it, because now I'm gonna be like, oh, okay, like, fuck you too, bro.
It was mad funny because after that situation happened, I had all these reels or clips or shorts or whatever the fuck they want to call them, just about like just like an emoji of a cat, or just like the video of like that movie with Alec Baldwin when he's a baby, a voiceover. Like Boss Baby.
Boss Baby.
Oh, yeah.
And then at one point the kid is just like, oh, I wish I never knew you. And then he's just like, I wish you were never born. And it just put the girlfriend, the baby, like, and it just like walks away. I was just like, yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm still getting to know her, and it's just like, we're still getting to know each other, and it's just like, okay, let me understand you a little bit better,
right?
Because it's too early for me to jump to any conclusion of anything like that. But that's why that's why I asked though, like, when is it, like, to recognize something. The other question that I had, and I spoke with Vic about this, is more just like along the lines of like, are our values aligning? Because that's huge.
That is huge.
And I felt like a discrepancy in our values, which, again, it's still a little too early, but like because she's trying to accept certain things of me. One thing that she doesn't like is me masturbating.
Right.
Yeah.
We talked about it.
Yeah. Did I? I don't know. Here or just on the podcast?
No, you've mentioned this on the podcast. I'm almost positive.
Okay. Well, she doesn't like letting me touch myself, So
like when she's not around.
I mean, well, I guess I can
well, no, you can play you can play with toys in bed, and like you watching her play with her toys, or she's watching.
Yeah, I don't think she's the type to want to do that. So again, that's also another discrepancy, I guess, for me overall. Is just like the values, or like the amount that I guess I'm a freak, and then she's like, I don't want to say prude, but she's just reserved. I'll say it like that.
Is she open to opening up about that, or is she just like, nah, that's a like
certain things she just doesn't want to do, and that's
no, I'm saying like with you and like the masturbation thing, like
she's trying to be open about it, but like at the same time, this is a conversation we sort of had in the sense of like about transparency, and then like I talked about it with Vic, and I was just like, women want transparency, but then for this situation, wouldn't it be better just for me shut the fuck up and not say anything? Yeah, so you don't want transparency. So you don't, like, I'll give you honesty if you ask me, but at the same time, it's like, I'm not going to pick a fight, like, with you.
But if she's asking for transparency and you say that to her, that's on her.
Yeah, I guess. Vic, what do you weigh on that? Like,
so when you say transparency, do you mean specifically like she's asking you, what were you doing this afternoon?
Yeah, this is outside of my girlfriend, but I would say when somebody's asking for transparency, they want not just the honest truth, but everything in the context of the situation. Like they don't have to ask
for you to tell something. That's how I look at it.
I disagree with that.
Really?
I feel like transparency and honesty is like, just be honest when you're talking a question, if the information is relevant.
Right.
It's like, I feel like transparency in the sense is like, oh, hey, how did that project go? It's like, yeah, hey, it's going well. There was this issue. There's this. Like, don't lie about anything.
Right.
But also, like, I'm not going to mention, it's like, and I took a break and went and got some coffee. And, and there was this fly bothering me. Like, that's what I feel. It's like, there's other details in there that, like, don't pertain and aren't relevant.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like, things like that. It's like, is that really relevant to any subject you're talking about? when you're talking?
Well, I meant more like, there's relevance to it, but there's not like some things that you should, like, for instance, like in this situation that I'm speaking of is like, like when she asked me, like, what'd you do today? Like, I'm not going to say I jerked off.
Yeah.
Like, like that. I mean, I'm just going to leave that portion right out there. I just work
I agree with that. It's like, it's not really, in certain ways, it isn't relevant because it's not relevant to that person as far as what they're really asking. They're asking, like, what activities did you do that are, like, activities.
Yeah. See, like, so for me, the transparency, I don't know, I have to, like, look into an actual definition. But for me, it was more so just, like, for instance, like, I was working at a bar, and I'm in a relationship, right?
Yeah.
And my ex walked in. Do I have to tell my current boyfriend that my ex walked in? No. But if I'm transparent, and if he's asking for transparency, I am going to tell him because he might find out, and then I'm going to be in trouble.
That's just how I look at it. I could see on your side also is like, if I tell him, is he going to start a fight?
Like, possibly, yes. But at the end of the day, if you ask me for transparency, I'm going to give it to you. And if you start a fight with me about this, then just so you know, you don't want my transparency.
Yeah. Well,
that's
I think like one of the things that I saw with Simon, which was, I forgot what is Simon's last name. I forgot the dude. Simon
Sinek?
Yeah. He said something very smart, like in the sense of he was talking about like going to see a friend of his play, and then during that time, like, the friend just gets off like and it's like, so what did you think? It like huge emotion, and he thought the play was shit. It was like terrible, but instead he gave time, but he said, I'm so happy for you to be doing this, and it's amazing to see you do what you love. And exactly. But he waited a day when the emotions calmed down, and then he gave a call the next day, and just like, hey, I want to say I'm very happy and for you and all that, but here are my real critiques of the show itself.
That's fair. That's super
and
smart.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's times where you have to like, okay, I'm gonna tell you, but I was gonna wait for this situation to die, or like
people overreact based on emotions.
I looked up the definition, by the way. So there's like 3 or 4 definitions, and most of them are about like actually see-through objects. But the one that I think applies to what we're talking about, it's the quality of being open to public scrutiny.
Open to what?
To public scrutiny. So
what scrutiny means?
Scrutiny is like criticism, open to the negative outcome. Okay. So it's like saying something regardless if it's going to be a negative or positive reaction.
Okay, there you go. So I was being transparent then with my boyfriend, even though he didn't ask. I just said it because
So it's like you're saying something at the same time, knowing that you're not trying to save yourself from a different reaction. Just like, okay, hey, this is what happened. I had this issue, or I fell short on this, or I messed up.
What is transparent versus honest? Can we look that up?
I think they're one and the same.
Well, I mean, like to me, one of the things that they were saying is just transparency makes you the whole picture versus honesty. Like, were you at, were you at the bar? I was.
Okay.
Were you there? Like, but it's like, I saw my ex-girlfriend there. Like, am I saying that? Should I say that? Do I want to be transparent with you about all that, or is it going to start a fight? Like, and again, I understand women wanting transparency, but at the same time, I believe that some things should just like
be left.
Yeah, like listen, it's okay not to ignorance is bliss.
Especially if someone's insecure about certain thing, and then like something happens that doesn't bother you. So for instance, like that specific situation, my ex walking into my bar meant 0 to me. Like literally, you guys know, like I told you, once I'm healed, you are invisible. You're just like another person to me. So to me, it didn't matter. So I was like, I'm going to be transparent. He asked for transparency. But then it bit me in my ass because it's like, why am I so welcoming that my ex is coming to my bar? You know what I mean? So it's like, I should just have that person blocked. I should never allow them in a way. But like in my mind, I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Like,
you're also in a public place. You can't stop people from visiting.
Exactly. But it's just one of those things where I was just like, fuck, like that being transparent bit me in my ass. But I still will continue to be transparent because that's something that was asked of me, and I'm here to deliver.
So here's another interesting difference that Google provided. It's that transparency involves sharing information without being prompted and being accountable for your actions. It can be seen mostly in an organizational and a governmental aspect. Is usually when the main example they use. Your government's telling you like, hey, this is what happened. This is the bad news. You know,
Got it.
just that. Whereas honesty involves telling the truth even when it's difficult or uncomfortable, which is something more seen as a quality of individuals and relationships. But being transparent might mean sharing information about your plans, while being honest might mean telling the truth about how you feel about the plans and the direction you're taking.
Okay.
Ooh, a little confusing, but interesting.
So it sounds like as far as Google's concerned, transparency is more of like logical, task-oriented, like, hey, this is X, Y, Z. Like, here's all my plan. Here's all the activities. Here's all the details.
Yep.
Without being prompted.
Yep.
Good and bad. Whereas honesty is really, I guess, more emotive, more like, this is how I feel about things. This is my honest perspective on the situation. This is my honest feelings about something.
All right.
Yeah.
Very good. Thanks, Vic.
I think we learned something today, folks. Goodbye. All
That's enough for my brain.
Yeah, so that's enough about our lives and everything. Let's go some Reddit stories because we got to get the fuck out of here.
That's true. I got a flight at 6 a.m. tomorrow.
Yeah.
You do?
He does.
I have an appointment at 7.
Oh.
Damn. Where you going?
Louisville, Kentucky.
Nice.
Nice. Get a slugger and bring it back.
What's a slugger?
Bat.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I
Oh my God. I don't think you the Louisville Slugger.
Oh, I have heard that.
Yeah, I'm sure you have.
I haven't in forever.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh my goodness. All right, so I'm gonna do just a story, but it's gonna be about transparency.
I finally told my wife the truth after 37 years of lying. My wife and I started dating when we were just 14, and at the start of the relationship, she asked me what my favorite dish was so she could cook it for our 1-month anniversary. I told her it was chicken parmesan, and when the day came, she cooked it from scratch. On top of the chicken parmesan, she made garlic pasta and garlic bread as a side, decorated the table with rose petals, and her mother even got us some alcohol-free champagne. The meal looked delicious, and I thanked her for it. But then, as soon as I took the first bite, an awful realization dawned on me. I realized that what I meant to say originally was chicken Alfredo, not chicken parmesan. I felt so bad that she put so much effort into making it, so I didn't correct myself. I finished the meal and I honestly thought this would just be one of those small, harmless lies that came to pass. But no, because from that day on, and for the next 37 years, my wife would once a month make me chicken parmesan from scratch. It was always good, but it was just never my favorite. And yet every time she made it, I'd deliver a performance worthy of an Oscar and would gorge on it like a wild animal who hasn't seen food in weeks. Until last week, that was. I came home after a long, stressful day at work and was going to order myself a chicken Alfredo to the house. But when my wife saw me opening Uber Eats, she told me it was no problem and that she would run down to the shop and make us both a lovely chicken parmesan. I told her she had made one last week already, so I didn't want to bother her, but she giggled, saying, "Anything for the love of my life." She picked up her keys and was about to head out the door when I rushed in front of her and told her not to go. I told her I had something important to tell her. I led her to the couch, where I sat her down, took her hand in mine, and with a big, deep breath told her, "Honey, my favorite meal was never chicken parmesan. It's always been chicken Alfredo. All those years ago when I said it was chicken parmesan for our 1 month, I mixed it up because I got confused with the names, and I've always been too embarrassed to tell you." I don't know how I expected her to react, but after a few seconds of blankly looking at me, she just broke into hysterical laughter. I've never seen my beautiful wife laugh so hard in her life. She was on the floor, screaming, clutching her stomach. Tears were rolling down her face. You'd swear I was tickling her. And just when I thought she was done laughing, she would start up all over again. She ended up calming down after maybe 10 minutes, and we now have this incredible inside joke for the rest of our lives together.
Love it. So cute.
So wholesome.
That's so cute.
Transparency.
I would definitely laugh
honesty.
at it. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'd be like, babe, you should have just told me the next day. Like, hey, I
No, but
loved
that- I feel
Like,
like
it was
that's-
good, but like
Yeah,
it's not
like,
my favorite.
not my
But that's something
favorite.
that men suck up a lot of times with
Yeah.
women. It's just like, I don't want to tell you this because it's special to you and I don't want to ruin it.
And we
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Yeah, well,
I hope like
We'll
most
go
of
through
us.
30
how can
years
you
of
appreciate
being-
it when you don't know?
No, I'm just saying, like, I'm letting you know, like, if any man ever had to suck something up for me, I appreciate it deeply because I know it's not easy.
Man had to eat 12 homemade chicken parms for 30 years of his life.
37 years.
37 years of his
That's
life.
insane. Like,
Yeah.
why would you? Like, he's so cute for that. I'm
yeah.
like, oh my god.
But just just the fact that he was like, I just had it last week. I really want this chicken Alfredo from Uber Eats.
I
Don't
honestly
do
would
this to me."
probably be like, hey babe, can we actually try chicken Alfredo instead? Like, can we make it together? I would probably like do something like a together task to
And
switch
then
it
it's
up.
like, this is so good. I think this is my new favorite.
Yeah.
That's what I would have
There you
gone.
go.
That's how
Fucking
I would have sneaked that shit
Like,
right in there. It's just like, this is my new favorite. I don't know what I was thinking. That chicken part. Fuck that chicken part. The chicken Alfredo. That's what I'm talking about right there. But yeah.
Oh my god, I can't believe he went 37 years. That's wild.
Yeah.
What the heck? All right, Vic, you go now.
Okay.
I have to find one because I have like 4, but I need to
Okay.
just locate
Pick
which
one.
one I want.
Okay. So this one is, am I the jerk for calling the cops on my aunt who stole my car for
I
a
saw that.
family vacation?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I saw that.
So I'm 19 years old, and my aunt has always been somewhat unpredictable. So one summer morning, I woke up to find my car missing. Panic set in, as I had no idea where it could be. After a frantic search, I received a text from my aunt saying she had taken my car for a family vacation and would be back in a week.
That's insane.
I was furious. She had not asked or even hinted that she needed it. My car was my pride and joy, and not to mention my only means of transportation.
Jesus.
So I tried calling her, but she did not pick up. Days turned into a blur of frustration and worry. I had no idea where she was and what she was doing with my car. I felt helpless and angry. Finally, I decided enough is enough and called the police to report it stolen. A few days later, the police found her in a small town enjoying a vacation with some friends. She was arrested, charged with theft, and then the court sentenced her to 1 month in jail.
What?
It was one of the hardest decisions I've ever had to make, but I felt it was necessary to set boundaries and show that her actions had consequences. The whole situation left me feeling conflicted. On one hand, I felt guilty for putting my aunt in jail. She was family after all. On the other hand, I knew I had to stand up for myself and my property. It was a harsh lesson for both of us, but it ultimately strengthened my resolve.
Okay. Is there an update to that?
Yeah.
There is unfortunately not an update.
Okay, that's
to
fine.
that.
That's fine. Wow. So
Yeah.
is he an asshole? No, he's not. But Jesus Christ, like the only thing, the caveat of what I would have asked the judge is like, please don't send her to jail.
Yeah, that's
like,
crazy.
or at least like 2 or 3 days, not a whole month. That's and
I'll just
to
give her
be-
a big fine and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, like I don't want that to go on their criminal record or something. Like like
Yeah.
to build.
I mean,
that
a
up.
lot of cases they'll say either pay like whatever amount of money or do the jail time.
Yeah.
It is very possible
Oh,
she couldn't
shoot.
pay it and
Yeah.
she just chose the jail time.
Yeah, well,
That's wild.
But that to me, like, she's definitely a piece of shit for just taking
Yeah.
a car without
asking for
Yeah,
permission.
Yeah,
like,
and especially
that-
if it's the only means of transportation. And
Yeah.
it looks like, because the way she described it is that it was taken.
Yeah.
Then she tried calling her for a few days. And then another few days, the
That's
police
insane.
took the police to find her. So it's like at least a week.
I'm just
Yeah.
curious how did the
With no
aunt
communication.
have keys for the car?
I'm guessing she just walked in the house and just
That's
I mean,
wild.
she's 19, so and the aunt might be slightly older. Like, obviously.
Like we're the parents too. Like
yeah, that's the other question is like, you don't want to talk to your sister or brother like about this, like
Yeah.
like that she's I
Like-
don't know, doing this kind of shit. Like I would be as a parent, like if something like my brother or sister did that shit to my kid.
To my kid, yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
no.
no.
Like if I did that to my nieces,
yeah.
my brother would fucking kill me, and
Yeah.
my sister, they disown me for that.
but that's the
Yeah.
thing, we don't know if their parents are in the
Yeah,
picture.
that's another question. But
That's just
overall,
wild.
Yeah,
I mean, I would never send my aunt to jail.
I wouldn't
I would
want
just
to.
want to teach her a lesson, which like calling the cops is definitely like a
Yeah,
little
well, I mean-
extreme. But I mean,
if they just arrested her and then put her like a day or night in jail, it's like I'd be
That's
like,
good
that's
enough.
good. Yeah,
Yeah.
Like just so you know,
Like,
I
don't
will
fuck
do
with
this.
me.
Yeah, I will do this and leave you
Again.
next time. Like, but like I just wouldn't want them to get to extreme. But again, I don't know
we
his
don't know
aunt,
the details.
aunt, You're right, an aunt.
Aunt.
Yeah.
An aunt.
Auntie.
You can't say ant. Those are little insects.
I say ant.
Yeah.
An aunt.
Yeah.
I switch it up sometimes. Keep you guys on your toes so you know what I
okay.
mean.
Okay, so let's go with your story.
Am I the asshole for ruining my dad's 78-year-old male romantic getaway at our beach house 3 weeks after my mom passed?
Oh, shit. 3 weeks?
Right?
Fuck.
Insane. Okay, it's a little long, but I'll try to make it quick. Apologies for the long post, but I need to provide context for you to understand. My dad, 78-year-old male, was married to my mom, 66 female, for 40 years. She passed away in October after a long battle with cancer. The three of us were always very close, best friends. People used to joke that we looked like a picture-perfect family. Of course, we knew our flaws, but there was never anything major. We genuinely got along really well. During her illness, my dad couldn't be as present as I and she would have liked, but we understood that it was because he struggled to deal with the impending loss, the separation, and his own feelings of helplessness over not being able to fix her problems. Within his limits, he was there for us. He's a very successful and healthy man with a big ego that has been stroked daily over the past 50 years because of his position of recognition and authority. My mom passed away peacefully on October 20th. Early November brought a string of emotional days, her birthday on the 3rd and mine on the 5th. We spent those days filled with memories of her. On November 10th, my dad left for a work trip that had been planned in advance. On December 1st, I accidentally discovered that he had met another woman during this trip. By the time I found out, they were already calling each other love. After some digging, I learned that his woman is 48 years old and works in the same ecosystem as him, but in a different state. In mid-December, she came to our city to visit him. He paid for everything. And now in January, they're planning to spend the upcoming weekend at our beach house. Technically, I'm still pretending I don't know about their relationship. I'm scared to confront this reality, I admit. When she came to visit in December, he wanted to use my mom's new car, which she had just bought before passing. I made up all kinds of excuses and kept the car keys, so he had to take his own car instead. I found it extremely disrespectful that he wanted to use my mom's car, which he used to criticize while she was alive, to parade around with this woman. Now, I'm absolutely furious about the idea of him taking this woman to our family beach house, a place filled with memories of my mom. How dare he? Less than 3 months after her death. And how could he start a relationship less than a month after she passed? Not to mention the possibility that he might have been seeing her before. Something I don't even want to talk about. So, I had the keys to our beach house. I know this doesn't solve anything, but at least it's something. I've also considered telling him that I plan to go there this weekend just to ruin his plans. When I hinted at the idea, he panicked and started making excuses for why I shouldn't go. What do you think? Am I the asshole here? Any advice on how to handle this situation?
I empathize her situation. She needs to empathize with also her father. Granted, I don't know if he was sleeping with, her at the end of it.
Because it just sounds so quick right after the passing.
Yeah, but at the same time,
weeks.
like cancer is different than somebody just passing.
No,
right
it takes years sometimes. Yeah.
No, but like I've heard of situations where like somebody has cancer, they're incapable of doing much. So
Right.
obviously the person that's like helping them out, they've cheated on them.
Yeah.
They have needs too. They want to live their life too. And I don't want to give that as an excuse.
Right.
I just want to say that as like, they're dealing with something too. Like it's not,
It's not just the person that has cancer that's affected. I agree.
Yeah. It's heavy on the other person too. It's not right of them to go do anything else, but like, let's say, for instance, I'm just going to say that he didn't cheat on her. I'm just going to go with that. With the 3 months and everything like that, he's still going through something that, like, you lost your mom, but I lost my lover. I lost somebody that I really, it's different than what you're going through. We both lost somebody, but it's different in the sense of things. And now he might be feeling like, I want to fill this void with something.
Yeah.
And like, obviously having some happiness after that is definitely a comfort, and that's why he would fall head over heels. It's just like, I'm going all in on this. Just like I just lost the last person, I want to love the next person as much as I possibly can, because I don't want this moment, like these moments to pass me by. So I'm trying to empathize in that situation, but he should be mindful of his daughter.
Yeah.
And obviously take concern of just like, hey, I want you to know that like, this is happening. And like, again, I know in 3, I wouldn't let my daughter try to find it. Like if I had that situation, I'm not trying to let
he's trying to like not put more emotion on the daughter by not saying stuff.
Yeah.
I think it's less about being secretive. It's not like he's trying to keep it away, but it's more like she's going through stuff. She lost her mother. I lost my wife. I'm dealing with grief my own way. Everyone deals with grief differently.
Yeah.
Right.
But it is, yeah. But I mean, like with the daughter, I agree. It's just to emphasize everyone grieves differently. And I think she's projecting a lot of her grief on his situation instead of trying to deal with her own grief in the situation.
Yeah.
She's just
I'm
like,
trying to think how I would handle it. Because I don't know. I would have so many questions to my
I
dad.
mean, it just sounds like they both need grief counseling.
Yeah.
It just seems like they also need a conversation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
And that would
100%.
be in the
Because she
yeah.
feels hurt because, like, how can you be married to someone for 40 years and now 3 weeks after someone passing away, you're calling someone love? That automatically just, in my mind, because I'm traumatized, it's like you definitely had an affair with that woman. Huh?
How old is the poster, the OP?
The who?
The person who posted.
Oh,
the girl, you're saying his daughter?
That's his daughter.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know if it says. No.
Okay.
Because this might be a young person too. Who's like,
Yeah,
you know,
it sounds like
emotional about
like
it.
emotional, like 20-year-old or something like 19.
She's definitely young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I mean, the father is 78 years old, so she might not be young.
Oh.
he's 78.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
bro, I'm living
okay,
my
no.
life. Fuck you. Well, I'm sorry. Like I'm gonna go come
78,
everywhere.
the mom was 66.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
She lived a
And the
life.
chick is 48.
Oh, she needs to grow up.
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Like-
48, the new girl is 48.
Oh, okay. I thought you were
78
talking
and
about the
48.
daughter.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, like,
I mean, yeah, it's a conversation, and the thing is, like, if they can make each other's case, and they also have to prepare to not agree with each other's reasoning, because, like Dee said, he's living his life.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
he needs to deal with it. You need to be focused on you dealing with your grief.
Yeah.
You know.
But
But-
maybe like a little support from one another would
No,
help,
100%.
you know?
That's
like
what
if
the
he
com-
explained to her, like I'm just trying to be like a devil's advocate. I'm like,
I mean,
if
it
my dad
doesn't
came to me
sound-
and explained to me like, hey, like your mom has been a vegetable, that not to say that harshly, but just like, you know, to summarize it, for the last year, let's say, because there's no details about the cancer, like obviously I'm going to create some form of a connection with someone at work at some point if I'm not getting my needs met, but like the cheating part I'll never accept or agree with. But yeah, I feel like he should have had a conversation with her prior to that. Instead of protecting her from like the potential pain, no, like inform her so you can actually save her more pain, you know?
Yeah. Again, someone needs to tell him that because he might be thinking he's doing the opposite.
Right,
He's probably
exactly.
thinking that he is saving her from pain.
Yeah, by
Because
just
he
being
obviously
safe.
doesn't know that she knows already.
Yeah.
She also
Crazy.
needs to confront him and tell him, like,
Yeah.
I know.
because
Yeah.
she found that out by accident,
Right.
which I question. What's the accident? You looking up or some shit? Like, okay, cool, sure.
How
whatever.
do you know he paid for everything, actually?
Yeah,
How do
she's a
you know
little
it paid
sicko.
for everything?
Yeah.
Like, you have access to his bank account?
Yeah. Like,
Imagine.
Like,
I mean, listen, if a girl wants to find out, she will gonna
Yeah,
find out.
yeah.
I'll
No, it was
prove
funny.
that.
I was like, that's an interesting detail to have.
yeah. So that's why I'm just in that sense. I still think that she's an asshole, just for the sense of like, you should just be mature and talk to him. Granted, he should also be conscious of her.
I think they're both a little assholes.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I'm just hoping he didn't cheat. But you know, that's a tough situation. I mean, it's a very nasty situation. Like for anybody, he's gonna be pinned down as the piece of shit forever. Like, but like it's like people do that though. It's
Yeah.
crazy that like, you know, if somebody's in a bad state, like you want comfort. In somebody, like I've seen people, like usually sometimes it ends up being like a close friend that they end up sleeping with because they're both in grievance and like they have something to share, and then they just fall into with each other. So very hard, very difficult, very sad overall. great story.
Good. I'm glad you liked it.
Okay, so I think we can call it right there.
Yeah, I feel like that's
yeah.
good enough. 'Cause
Yeah.
we did 2 hours last
Yeah,
time.
but Vic,
Yeah.
before we do this, help me out real quick.
Okay, what am I doing?
No, this is great.
That was awesome.
Wait, what? Ah, you guys are so cute. No.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I love you guys. Stop.
You didn't think we forget about that, right? Yeah.
Wait, this is so cute.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah.
I love you both
Yeah.
so much. Look.
Yeah.
Yeah, show it to the camera.
Do you know what it says?
Oh yeah, you should read it.
Wait, happy birthday. What is it? Grandma. Oh my god, G, I hate you right now.
Yeah, you might
Look at
have.
this, guys.
Yeah.
It's the little things for girls, I swear. I love you both. Give me hugs. Oh my god, thank you.
Of course.
Thank you. Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
we won't
getting
be able.
old.
Yeah, we won't be able to see you for your birthday,
Oh,
obviously.
you guys are the best.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cute.
we
gotta save the birthday travels for next year.
You are so cute. I know. I was really trying to make a trip, but I think I'm just gonna do something for my 30, like the bigger trip for my 31st.
Yeah.
And I'm still gonna be like, it's gonna be fun in Poland, but without you guys, unfortunately.
No, it's fine, but I mean, I know you
You're so
get to
cute.
be with
I love
your
this.
family.
Ice cream cake,
Yeah.
all the vibes.
That's why I called Ashley.
Oh.
I'm
Did
glad
she call back?
She did, but I was like, I just texted her afterwards
you're
because I
like-
was like,
'cause she was with
told,
me.
yeah, she told me she was with you. I was like, all right, let me not tell her anything right now. They're on the phone, she might hear it.
Yeah,
So
I'm fine.
yeah, that's sort of how this came about. But cool,
You guys are so cute.
I hope you wish Poe a happy birthday. Thank you for being on here with us. Obviously, thank you for keeping on here and stay with us. Obviously, we're going to miss this place. We had a lot of good memories this last year. Thank you, Poe, for being here.
Oh,
Vic,
thank you
always all the
guys.
time. I know I shit on both of you, but still, I love you. Yeah.
Love you
so,
guys.
but we ain't stopping P&D just yet. So just
The
keep
more
going.
is coming, so
Yeah.
just stay
Yeah.
tuned.
Yeah.
There's some growth happening.
All day. All right,
All
guys,
day,
we're gonna
every
eat
day.
this cake.
Hey.
Not that cake. That cake.
That one's priceless, okay?
Taken.
All right.
Taken.
Peace.
Bye.
Peace.